Welcome back, folks. Today we're diving deep into something most people don't think to question. We're all told about this left-right divide, this never-ending battle between liberals and conservatives. But is it really as different as it seems? Or is this just one more way to keep us looking at the surface while the real story goes untold? So, let's start with a simple question. Why do we even need an ideology to understand the world? You'd think that ideologies would clarify things, but do they really? Every ideology, whether it's left or right, comes with secret agreements, blind spots that prevent us from seeing the world clearly. These hidden assumptions guide us without our awareness, making us think we're seeing the whole picture while keeping us, ironically, in the dark. Take the American left, for example. Today's leftist politics focus heavily on social issues like diversity, equity, and inclusion. But here's the problem. By focusing on plasticity, identity, and good consumerism, they end up promoting a kind of capitalist utopia where being a responsible consumer is the end game. It's like, sure, fight for diversity, but don't touch the actual economic system. Don't question the massive environmental destruction or the impact of unchecked capitalism. Just make sure you're drinking the right, ethically sourced coffee. Now, what about the American right? They claim to be the opposition, the answer to the excesses of the left. They might decry what they call woke capitalism, but are they really challenging the status quo? Both sides ultimately say, long live capitalism. They fight over minor details, and one of the biggest talking points, whether we should cut off our children's, well, you get the picture. It's as if, in the grand scheme of things, this is what will determine the future of America. Meanwhile, both factions are upholding a capitalist status quo that generates the very social tensions they're arguing over. So, are we really free to choose between two ideologies here? Or is this left-right debate more of a show? Think about it. They're arguing over issues like stem cells, marijuana legalization, and gender debates. But behind all this, who's looking out for the working class? Where is the real opposition to a global economic system that's creating inequality, environmental collapse, and even mental health crises? Both the left and right cite there, maintaining the societal framework they claim to want to change. They're dumping buckets of water out of a sinking ship, trying to patch it up, instead of questioning why it's sinking in the first place. What happens when both sides are putting on a show? Human rights, democracy, these ideals become something we practice rather than something we believe in. We become performers in a big political theater where our beliefs don't go deeper than Santa Claus. We act out the ideals, but do we truly believe them? Or do we just keep up appearances, not wanting to disappoint anyone who's invested in the narrative? And then there's this whole new layer. Russian propaganda, for example, has latched onto this American divide to push its own message. They frame America's left as a kind of new imperialism, forcing woke ideology onto other nations. So now, if you're against NATO, the argument goes, you're also against inclusion, diversity, and Western imposition. It's like the enemy of my enemy has become my friend. So, what do we do with all this? Can we really claim there's a clear line between left and right anymore? Are we watching a tug of war between two genuine alternatives, or is it just a shadow play on the cave wall, with all of us staring at the shadows and arguing over what they mean? Are we asking the right questions, or just repeating the ones we're told to ask? Thank you for tuning in to TOMTDKA. We hope this episode sparks some questions. Remember, it's not about choosing a side, it's about seeing the big picture. Until next time, stay curious.